We hear a lot this time of year. We talked with Frank Bernier yesterday from Lansing Catholic. He's a college placement expert about getting into college. How do you do it? How do you get in and so forth? It's getting out of college that's important too once you get in, and you're interested in increasing somehow the college graduation rates?
Yes, I share his concern and his ambitions about access, but the other part of this is really college success. And so Michigan State is making a firm commitment that every student who is qualified to be admitted to Michigan State University should absolutely have an equal opportunity of being successful in graduating from Michigan State University, which means giving some attention to this issue.
What would you say is a number one or number two indicator of collegiate success, being able to graduate, and in a reasonable amount of time, too?
The absolute number one predictor is whether or not students have had sufficient preparation in mathematics and writing. Students who come to the university and who have to first do some sort of developmental education to make up for what they haven't acquired in high school are the least likely, not just at Michigan State, but across the country, of not being successful.
And so Michigan State University has joined a national alliance now, 11 large research institutions. What do they all have in common?
Well, about the only thing they have in common are those two commitments to access and to student success, because they're very different schools. 4 are land grants, and they are, sort of our sibling institutions. But there are a couple other large publics, and then 4 what some people call upstart institutions, institutions that have begun in the last 60 years or so. But every one of them serves a large student population. Every one of them is a research institution. And so the question can't be, do we do excellent work or focus on student success? In all of these places, it really has to be both. It has to be excellence and access.
What would you say, if you know, is the most underrepresented background at Michigan State University?
Well, all of our students who are low income are at some risk or are more vulnerable, perhaps not at risk, but more vulnerable. And part of that is that in our state, low-income families are often clustered in communities. Those communities have had less support for schools. Those schools have had less resources that have been used to prepare students. So low income is a definite vulnerability. First-generation students are a little more vulnerable, and that really has to do with figuring out how to navigate institutions. It's like any one of us going to a country across the ocean that we've never been to, where we don't speak the language, and all we know about it is what we've seen on a Hollywood movie. And our chances of successfully navigating there might be pretty low if that's all the information we go with. So those are 2 particular vulnerabilities. And so when we think about increasing our student success and thus the graduation rate and time to completion, all of the 11 schools are particularly focused on low income.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.